So people always say to me like, when did you know God didn't play about you? And I'm gonna tell you a little. It's kind of dark, but I'm gonna tell you the year I finally figured out that God doesn't play about my tears or my prayers. So many years ago, like when I was in my 20s, I was in a really, 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 really toxic relationship. And I was constantly trying to get out of the relationship, but then always ended up back in the relationship because that is the warp of, a narcissist empath situation. You constantly feel bad that you're trying to leave, and they make you feel bad that you're trying to leave, and then you end up stuck with them again. So this should have been the key indicator that we were not aligned to be together. But I remember it being like 1 year where I was going to church for like the midnight mass. It was like New Year's Eve. And I went to the New Year's Eve service and he chose not to go because he was like, he don't go to church. He ain't going. So then after I got out of church, I went back to his house, and when I arrived at his house, he was already like in his house, like laid up in his bed. And I was like already miserable and knowing that I wanted to get out of the relationship. And I sat in my car and I was just like crying out to God, like, oh my God, I hate this man. And I just want out of this relationship so bad. And I just couldn't figure out a way to get out of it. Like I wanted out, but I couldn't figure out how to get out. So I'm crying out to God in the car, and it's like, New Year's 12 something at night, January 1st. And I finish praying, and, I gather myself back up and go in the house. And the next day, his mom passed away. Dark, right? So then when he calls me and he tells me that his mom had like a massive aneurysm and, she was rushed to the hospital and she's brain dead and da 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 da, I'm literally like fuming mad. Not fuming mad because his mom died, because this is the twisted part about it. Like, I'm mad because now I'm like, God, I was trying to leave and now you're doing things to keep me stuck, because how is it going to look that this man's mom passed away and I leave him? Like, now I got to stay, and I got to stay through the grieving process if I want to still be considered to be a decent human being. So, we begin the process of like, him getting his mother's funeral stuff together and grieving and all of that. And what I didn't know was that her death was a gift to me. I just didn't realize it. So she passed away, and in her passing, every skeleton in that man's closet came out by the woodworks. Like, when I tell you the things that he had been lying about and gaslighting me about that he wanted to keep hidden away, he could not hide any longer, because all of his little side chicks that he had, they all wanted to, console their grieving man, or the man that they thought was their man at the time, but he had a whole girlfriend. And yeah, like, it was, I just remember being like, this is such a horrible thing. God, why would you do this to me? And then not realizing that God was actually blessing me with freedom. So like shortly after that, some, crazy stuff was revealed to me, and we ended up parting ways. And yeah, that's when I finally figured out that if I'm a prayer, God is going to move mountains for my prayers.